What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports back again with another one. Top Rank Boxing CEO and promoter Bob Arum, aka the Bob Father, has made some interesting comments. Did an interview yesterday with ESPN.com. Man, he went in on Eddie Hearn, but that's another video for another day. Man, I'm gonna talk about Teofimo Lopez and what's on his agenda after June 19th. Bob Father made some interesting comments. He said he basically put a kibosh on Devin Haney versus Teofimo Lopez. He said this fight's not happening. He said, first of all, Teofimo Lopez is expecting a baby in November, so we're going to have him fight in October. And he said due to Eddie Hearn having 30 days to match any offer in a fight involving Devin Haney, he said he don't want to deal with that. So he says basically what's going to happen is Teofimo Lopez is going up to 140. He's going to have a fight, a quote-unquote tune-up at 140. If he's successful in that tune-up, he's looking to match him with Josh Taylor, who's undisputed at 140 pounds. That's what Bob Father is saying. You know, just a couple of weeks ago, he said he wanted to make the fight between Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney. Now he had changed his tune. What's the old saying with the Bob Father? You know, today I'm telling the truth. Yesterday I was lying or something. Yesterday I was lying, but today I'm telling the truth. You know, that's an old saying go with up Bob Father, been going on for years, man. This guy is unbelievable, man. He's basically saying that fight's not happening. And I was much looking forward to that fight, man. I wanted to see Undisputed find out who's a top dog at 135 pounds. But according to the Bob Father, it ain't happening. It ain't going down. He said he don't want to deal with Eddie Hearn. He's basically at war with Eddie Hearn due to the whole AJ Fury fiasco. And he ain't basically trying to have any kind of dealings with Eddie Hearn. So he's saying, look, Lopez is going up to 140. He's got a fight coming up in June. Actually, next week he's fighting Camboso. That's June 19th. That's another. Every time I start talking about stuff, it's just another video I can do about this stuff I'm talking about, man. That's another day. June 19th is a day they got like 4 fights going on that day. You got Cambosos, Lopez. You got Jamal Charlo versus Montiel. You got Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. versus Adam Silva. And then I think you got Munguia versus Selecki. Got like 5 fights going. I said 4. I might have missed something. It might be something else going. I think even ESPN is having a fight on 19. Yeah. Oh, Naya Inu, he fighting on ESPN. Him and then the female fighter Michaela, she fighting on undercard. So you got like 5 fights on June 19th. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm from Houston, so I'm probably gonna be at the Charlo fight. But that's saying if I can't get no access to the Teofimo fight. That's my first part. I want to get to see that Teofimo Lopez versus Cambosos fight. If I got a way to get to watch that fight, then I'm going to watch that fight. See, that fight is on the app. I don't have Triller, so I'm going to have to try to find another avenue to watch that fight. I'm going to maybe try to stream it or maybe go somewhere to a sports bar that may be showing that. But if I can't get that fight, then I will, I'm going to find out real early in the week. You know, if I can't get access to that fight, then I will go check out Jamal Charlo versus Montiel. That fight going down at Toyota Center, H-Town. So we will see what happens and we will see what transpires. But that's the breaking news, man. We're not going to get Lopez versus Haney. Them guys did a good job of promoting that fight, man. That was going to be one of the biggest fights of 2021 if it would have got made, but it don't seem like it's going to happen. But another bit of news. The Bob Father did say he want to make Vasily High-Tech Lomachenko, a.k.a. The Matrix, versus Devin the Dream Haney, December the 11th. That's Heisman night. They want to make that fight, put that fight in New York City, put it up in the Madison Square Garden. They want to put that fight there right after the Heisman. As you know, that fight's going to get good ratings if they put that fight on after the Heisman. You know, Lomachenko has done good ratings with ESPN throughout his career, throughout his association with ESPN. So you put him with Devin Haney, and you know Devin Haney is going to talk that trash. He's going to say he's going to beat down Lomachenko. Lomachenko is going to talk his trash back. They went back and forth on Twitter about a couple of months ago. So when Devin the Dream Haney came out and said, "Where's Loma at?" Then Loma quickly responded, "I'm right here waiting on you guys to step up and fight a real fighter," something to that effect. And they kind of went back and forth. So those guys got a history of going back and forth. The press conference ought to be epic, and the fight ought to be epic, because one thing about Lomachenko, he seems to not have a problem with guys that don't have no power, you know. But the thing about Haney, he's very long. He's a naturally bigger guy. He got the height and the reach advantage. You're going to see if Vasily Lomachenko with his high boxing IQ can solve that riddle, solve that Devin Haney puzzle, because Devin Haney is a very sharp, technically sound, fundamentally sound boxer, but he don't have no power. So, you know, the respect that he gave Teofimo Lopez with his power, that's the reason why he didn't let his hands go to the second half of that fight. He wanted to kind of see if Teofimo Lopez would wear down and his punches would lose a little bit of steam, and then he would go on attack. I don't think he's going to play that card, play that hand when he fights Devin the Dream Haney, who seems to not have the power. He's a very sharp and accurate puncher. I think he has respectable power, but he doesn't have power that won't, you know, that's going to be the story of the fight. You know, he don't have to have Teofimo Lopez power. He just have to have enough power to make Vasily Lomachenko respect him. Make Vasily Lomachenko hesitant to try to slip the jab and get inside and work the body. If he's able to do that, then he's going to have success, and he could win a decision over Vasily Lomachenko. It's a very intriguing matchup, but that's the matchup that the Bob father wants to make for December 11th, which is kind of funny because just like you said, you had a problem with Eddie Hearn having 30 days to match any fight involving Devin Haney. He can do the same thing with a potential Vasily Lomachenko versus Devin Haney fight. He can match that and try to take that fight on to the zone. But I guess Bob Father feels that Eddie Hearn wouldn't want to do that, you know, because that fight is going to be a big fight. It's on a big night. It's probably one of the biggest nights in the sports. It's one of the biggest nights involved in top-ranked boxing. That is a prestigious date for Top Rank. Like I said, it's coming right after the Heisman Trophy ceremony. They've had only two fights they've had, in my opinion, that's been fighting on the date has been Vasily Lomachenko and Terrence Crawford. Them the only two that have fought, that headlined on that day from what I remember. So they let you know who's the highest in the pecking order in top-ranked boxing as far as fighters go. Their top three fighters are Vasily Lomachenko, Terrence Bud Crawford, and Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury. Those are the top three fighters. So they're always looking to put those guys on their prestigious dates, and they're putting their money and their efforts more behind those guys than any of the other guys they have up on the top-ranked boxing. So we will see what happens. We will see what transpires. But that's the news that I got from that interview he did with ESPN.com, man. He had a lot of other things to say, especially about Eddie Hearn. He said he basically boggled to AJ Fury negotiation because he kept running his mouth, had diarrhea of the mouth, he said, and he just went in on Eddie Hearn, man. He had diarrhea of the mouth, don't know when to talk, kept saying that the fight was going to get made in the next couple of days, and them days came and went, and then the fight was never announced. And he kept saying that both parties had signed the contract. They were just going over it with the lawyers. And basically once that was done, they would have an announcement in short order, and that wasn't the case. Frank Warren debunked that, said we ain't signed nothing. We haven't signed anything on our end. They might have signed something. We ain't signed nothing. So that was just propaganda again with Eddie Hearn. Smoke and mirrors once again with Eddie Hearn. That's why I call him Eddie the Con Artist. This guy's out here conning the public, and they believe in everything that comes out of his mouth. And that's a damn shame. You need to be a little bit more smarter than that. You need to have a little bit what you call common sense and think about what people say and just add two and two together. And if it's coming up 6, then it's not adding up right. The guy keeps telling you the fight is near, and then after the first or second time he tell you that it don't come to fruition, you need to stop believing what he's saying. But you believe him every time he said that. You know, it's coming, it's close. Eddie, the greatest promoter of all time, pulling a rabbit out the hat, making lemonade out of lemons, making chicken salad out of chicken shit, and all this old stuff you want to call Eddie Hearn. And then when we get down to it, man, the guy's just a guy that does a lot of talking, talks a good game, but more times than not, he don't get it done. That's why AJ ain't fought none of the two best guys in the heavyweight division besides himself. He hasn't fought any one of those guys once. Okay, he ain't fought any one of those guys once. He ain't fought Fury, he ain't fought Wilder. These guys are going on their third fight. Now just think about that. Why is that? Think about that. Things that make you go, oh, Arsenio Hall show. You understands me? Believe that, man. Like I said, you got people out here running off at the mouth, talking about Wilder ducked AJ, which is crazy, which is ridiculous. The man offered him $50 million, 50-50 pay-per-view split. Who do you have behind him? Al Heyman. What Al Heyman and PBC put on? They put on Mayweather-Pacquiao. A fight that did, 4.5 million pay-per-view buys? Then they put on Mayweather versus McGregor. That fight did 4.3 pay-per-view buys. So you think a guy that showed that he could put up that type of, make that type of event and produce that type of revenue, make that type of money off two fights involving Mayweather, you don't think he gonna get the investors to back him and put the money up for them to put $50 million to Anthony Joshua for that fight to take place and 50-50 on the pay-per-view split? You don't think he can able to come up with that money? If you don't believe that, then you just a hater. Just a straight up hater. You ain't thinking. It's common sense. If it ain't making dollars, it ain't making sense. That man got the pedigree He got the past performances for you to know that if he put up $50 million, it's not fake. It's not something that just made up. It's, saying, oh man, this dude from Alabama, how he got $50 million? He got Al Heyman behind him. God damn, do y'all guys understand anything about boxing? You understand the economics of boxing? You understand this who's behind Deontay Wilder? That being Al Heyman, the guy that put on the 2 biggest boxing events in the history of boxing. You saying he ain't got $50 million? When Pacquiao and what Pacquiao and Mayweather made, when they made up combined around $500 million in pay-per-view money for that fight, I think Mayweather got $250 or whatever, $350, and Pacquiao got $150. And then they did another one a couple of years ago again, Mayweather versus McGregor. And Mayweather probably got around $300 million for that fight, and McGregor probably got around $125, somewhere there, $150, somewhere in that range. You mean to tell me that guy that was behind that event can't come up with $50 million for Anthony Joshua to fight Deontay Wilder in Las Vegas on Showtime pay-per-view? That's what it would have been at the time. Come on now. It makes no sense, man. We know who was ducking who. We know who got the quack, who's the Donald Duck of this situation. It ain't Deontay Wilder. But that's neither here nor there. Again, Bob Father has come out and said that he's looking to make Vasily Lomachenko versus Devin the Dream Haney. That'd be a good matchup. It's going to boil down to, can Devin Haney get Vasily Lomachenko's respect? If he can do that, then he has a good chance to win the decision. If he's not able to do that, Vasily Lomachenko, with his versatility, with his punch variety, with he's throwing punches from different angles, with his good body work, and just high level of fighting. He fights at a high pace. He throws a lot of punches. And you just he seems to overwhelm you with the volume and the pace of his punches. And if he's able to do that, then it's going to be a long night for Devin the Dream Haney. If he can't hit him with some shots to get him his respect. He's got to hit him with that jab, and he's got to hit him with that right hand. And that right hand's got to be the key to get the respect of Vasily Lomachenko. If he don't, then Lomachenko going to go into his bag of tricks, go into his bag of tricks, and it's going to be a long and tough night for Devin the Dream Haney. So we will see what happens. We will see what transpires. Let me know your thoughts about this particular matchup. Who you like, and what do you think about Bob Arum putting a kibosh on the Devin the Dream Haney versus Teofimo Lopez, blaming Eddie Hearn and blaming the expected child of Teofimo Lopez in November. Let me know your thoughts about Teofimo Lopez fighting the winner of tonight's fight between Jose Pedraza versus Julio Rodriguez. That's going to be the fight tonight. The winner of that is supposed to fight Teofimo Lopez in October. That'll be Teofimo Lopez's debut at junior welterweight division of 140 pounds. Let me know your thoughts and hit the like button if you like the content of this video. And subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. And I holla.